All right, so strap yourselves in, folks, because today we're diving headfirst into one of the biggest game changers in movie history, the Avengers.
This wasn't just another superhero movie, oh no. This was a moment, a true phenomenon.
Absolutely. It redefined what these movies could be. We're going deep, folks, beyond your typical review. We're talking behind-the-scenes secrets, dissecting the plot, and unearthing all those juicy details that make this movie tick.
And trust me, with the Avengers, there are layers upon layers to unpack.
So much to explore. But before we assemble this deep dive, let's set the stage a bit. This wasn't just some random hero meetup.
Right, you can't just throw a bunch of superpowered individuals together and expect instant teamwork. There's a whole backstory here. Years of meticulous planning and storytelling that led up to this epic moment.
Exactly. It all started way back in those earlier Marvel films. Remember Nick Fury's surprise appearance at the end of Iron Man?
Oh, chills. That post-credit scene sent shockwaves through the fandom. It was like, wait, what? They're connected. This is bigger than we thought.
It was a game changer for sure. But even before that, the seeds were planted, subtly woven into the fabric of the MCU.
Like little Easter eggs for the eagle-eyed fans.
Precisely. Think back to Captain America.
Ah, the first Avenger.
That's where we first encounter the Tesseract, that glowing blue cube of cosmic power.
The source of unlimited energy, the MacGuffin that sets the whole saga in motion.
And speaking of setting things in motion, the film cleverly ties the Tesseract to Tony Stark through his father, Howard.
Oh, that's right. Howard Stark, the brilliant inventor, discovering the Tesseract on the ocean floor after Captain America's disappearance.
It has this fascinating layer to Tony's character arc, this connection to his father's legacy.
It's these intricate details, these subtle connections that make the MCU so captivating. It's like a giant puzzle, and every piece fits perfectly.
And one of the most intriguing pieces of this puzzle is our villain, Loki. Forget your cookie-cutter bad guys.
Yeah, Loki is something else entirely. He's complex, he's charismatic, he's mischievous, as his title suggests.
He's got layers, man. Ambition, resentment, whole lot of sibling rivalry.
Loki's motivations run deep, far beyond a simple lust for power.
He wants recognition, validation, especially from his father and brother.
He's constantly trying to prove himself, even if it means conquering Earth.
Remember that scene where he lets himself be captured on the helicarrier?
Oh, brilliant. A total power move.
He's manipulating everyone, playing them like chess pieces.
The audience included. We thought we were in on the game, but Loki was always a step ahead.
He orchestrated his own capture, sowed discord among the Avengers, and then, bam, escaped in a blaze of glory.
Classic Loki. That helicarrier sequence perfectly encapsulates his cunning and manipulative nature. He's a master strategist, a puppet master pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
And those strings, ultimately, lead us to the main event, the formation of the Avengers. This incredible team of heroes, each with their own unique abilities and, let's be honest, some pretty big personalities.
It's like a superhero cocktail, mixing the stoic Captain America with the genius, billionaire, playboy Iron Man, and then throwing in the unpredictable Hulk, just for good measure.
Don't forget the super spies, Black Widow and Hawkeye, bringing their skills and secrets to the mix.
You couldn't ask for a more diverse and potentially volatile group. Talk about a recipe for disaster.
It's like trying to herd cats, but super-powered cats, with a penchant for saving the world. But somehow, amidst all the chaos and clashing egos, they find a way to work together.
And that's what makes the Avengers so compelling. It's not just about explosions and superpowers. It's about the power of unity, of finding common ground even amidst the differences. But, it's not just about the heroes themselves, right? It's also about the brilliant minds behind the scenes, the people who brought this epic story to life.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we can't talk about the Avengers without giving a massive shout-out to Joss Whedon.
The mastermind, the visionary director, the guy who somehow managed to juggle all these iconic characters and weave their stories together into a cohesive and thrilling narrative.
And let's not forget, he did it with his signature style. That Whedon blend of witty dialogue, sharp humor, and those heart-wrenching emotional beats.
Yeah, he's known for creating characters you truly care about, even when they're kicking butt and blowing things up.
I mean, think about his work on shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly.
He's got a knack for balancing action and humor with genuine human moments, making you laugh one minute and then tearing your heart out the next.
And he brought that same magic to the Avengers, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He understood these characters, he respected the source material, and he knew how to translate that to the big screen in a way that would resonate with fans and newcomers alike.
I read somewhere that Whedon is a huge comic book nerd himself.
Oh, yeah, he's been a fan since he was a kid, so he
Right.
brought that passion and that deep understanding to the project.
It shows. And speaking of passion, let's talk about the cast, because wow, did they assemble an all-star lineup for this one. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. I mean, come on.
Iconic. He practically IS Iron Man at this point.
He embodies that swagger, that genius, that snarky humor. It's just perfection.
Downey Jr.'s performance was a game changer. He breathed new life into the character and made Iron Man a global phenomenon.
It's hard to imagine anyone else in that role now, right?
Absolutely. He set the bar incredibly high, and the rest of the cast rose to the challenge.
Chris Evans is Captain America. He's just so perfectly cast.
He's got that all-American hero vibe down pat. You know, that earnestness, that unwavering moral compass.
He's the heart of the team, the one who always strives to do what's right even when it's tough.
And Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. Oh, man, he brings such a depth of emotion to that role.
You can practically feel the internal struggle, you know,
Yeah.
the constant battle between the brilliant scientist and the raging Hulk.
Ruffalo really captures that tormented genius vibe. It's a performance that stays with you.
And Scarlett Johansson is Black Widow, let's not forget her.
She is fierce, she is cunning, and she brings a complexity to the character that goes beyond the typical femme fatale trope.
She's a skilled spy,
Yep.
haunted by her past, but determined to forge her own path.
And then there's Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. He might not have the flashiest powers, but he's a vital part of the team.
He's the everyman, the skilled archer, the one you can always count on.
And his accuracy with those trick arrows is just mind-blowing.
But let's be real here. We can't talk about the cast without mentioning Tom Hiddleston as Loki.
Oh, Loki, the god of mischief. He steals every scene he's in.
Hiddleston's performance is just mesmerizing. He's charismatic, he's cunning, and you kind of can't help but root for him even when he's being a total villain.
He brings such depth and nuance to the character, making Loki more than just a one-dimensional bad guy.
It's that perfect blend of charm and menace that makes him so captivating.
And it's not just the individual performances that shine in the Avengers. It's the chemistry between the actors, the way they bounce off each other.
They feel like a real team.
Yeah.
You know, a group of people who have each other's backs even when they're driving each other crazy.
And that's a testament to Joss Whedon's directing style. He encouraged improvisation and collaboration on set, allowing the actors to really build those relationships.
It definitely comes across on screen. And let's not forget the visual spectacle of it all. The Avengers is packed with action epic battles, stunning special effects.
It was groundbreaking for its time, the way they seamlessly blended practical effects with CGI to create a world that felt both believable and fantastical.
The Chitauri invasion, the helicarrier, the final battle of New York, it's a visual feast.
The visual effects team really pushed the boundaries. They created these incredible sequences that were both thrilling and visually stunning.
Remember that scene where Iron Man intercepts the nuke and flies it through the portal? Heart-stopping.
So you could talk about a heroic sacrifice. It's moments like that that make the Avengers so much more than just an action movie. It's got heart, it's got emotion, it's got stakes.
And it's clear that everyone involved poured their heart and soul into this project. It was a massive undertaking, a culmination of years of planning and hard work.
And the result is a film that truly stands the test of time, a movie that redefined the superhero genre and set the stage for the sprawling cinematic universe we have today.
And it's not just about the spectacle and the CGI ride. The Avengers actually has a lot to say about some pretty big themes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at its core, it's a story about unity.
About finding common ground, even when you have a team of superpowered individuals with very different personalities.
Right. Even when they disagree, even when they butt heads.
And they do butt heads a lot.
Oh, yeah. But ultimately, they learn to put their differences aside and work together for the greater good.
They learn that they're stronger as a team, which I think is a really powerful message, especially in a world that can feel so divided at times.
For sure. And it's not just about teamwork. The film also explores sacrifice, you know? The choices these heroes make, the risks they take.
They're constantly putting their lives on the line to protect others.
Like, think about Captain America. He's carrying the weight of leadership, the burden of his past.
And Iron Man, constantly grappling with his ego, but ultimately willing to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Even Black Widow confronting her dark past, striving for redemption.
Each Avenger has their own personal struggles, their own demons to battle, which makes their journey all the more compelling, right?
Absolutely. It reminds us that heroism often comes at a cost.
But even with all the weighty themes, the Avengers never loses that sense of fun.
It's got that perfect balance of action, humor, and heart. Like the banter between the characters, especially Tony Stark's quips.
Always a good time. It keeps the film from getting too serious, too bogged down.
And those action sequences, those epic battles, they're just exhilarating to watch.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of exhilarating, you can't talk about the Avengers without mentioning that iconic shawarma scene.
Huh. That scene was pure gold.
Right. It's this quiet moment of camaraderie after the intense battle, the team just sitting there, silently eating shawarma.
It's hilarious, and it speaks volumes about their bond.
It's like, we just saved the world, now let's eat.
Exactly. It's those little moments that make the Avengers so special. It's got the epic scope, the superhero action, but it also has those small human touches that ground it.
So well said. And with those human touches, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the Avengers. But before we do, I just want to say, this film, it wasn't just a box office hit. It was a cultural phenomenon. It changed the game for superhero movies, proving that a shared cinematic universe could work on a grand scale.
Right. It paved the way for the MCU as we know it today.
Exactly. And while some might criticize it for being formulaic or relying too heavily on CGI, I think its strengths far outweigh any weaknesses. It gave us heroes we could believe in, a team that felt real, and a story that reminded us of the power of unity and hope.
And it did it all with style, humor, and heart.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
The Avengers is a film that deserves its place in cinematic history. And with that, we come to the end of our deep dive. But the conversation doesn't have to end here. What are your thoughts on the Avengers? What resonated with you? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of movies. We'll catch you in the next one.